A sales invoice in Quanta Books is a document you create when you sell products or services. It records what was sold, who bought it, how much they owe, and when payment is due. Here's what each part of the sales invoice means. Copy from button. This will show you a pop-up where you can choose another quotation. Order an invoice to copy them to this invoice or import them. Importing differs from copying by closing that quotation or order. However, copying will just clone that order to this invoice, it will not close it. Invoice number. Automatically generated by Quanta Books to keep your invoices organized. Invoice date. The date when the sale happened. This is usually today's date. Invoice ref no. The ref no is what this invoice referred to. It shows you the number of invoice and the type by default. Of course, you can change it if you want to refer to an invoice or order or quotation. Customer. Select the person or business you're selling to. If it's a new customer, you can quickly add them. Due date. When you expect to be paid. This helps track overdue invoices. The due date is set to the invoice date by default. However, if the customer's file includes a specified number of due days, the system will automatically calculate the due date by adding those days to the invoice date. Currency. The invoice currency is set to the customer currency in customer's file. Rate of the two local currencies. Those fields are set to the default currency's file's rates, depending on the selected currency. Description is optional. Add extra details about the product or service, like a short note or delivery instruction. Tax applied. If the current period is tax applied, this will be reflected on your invoice. You can select the applicable tax rate for the items below, and the system will automatically apply the tax to your voucher. However, if the customer or vendor is not tax applied, the checkbox will remain unchecked and disabled. In cases where you have both taxable and non-taxable items, you may manually uncheck the tax applied option below if needed. Tax priority order. First, taxable period, highest priority. Second, customer or vendor. Third, item, lowest priority. Items/services sold. List each product or service. Item name e.g., laptop, web design. You can select from your product list or add a new item directly. Detailed description. Unit price. Quantity, how many. Total price, unit price * quantity. Discount percent, per item, discount amount as a percentage of total price. Total discount, per item, discount amount as fixed amount. Net total, total price, discount amount. Tax applied, if the item is taxable or not. This is set in items file. Requirements. Period and client should be taxable. Tax. If tax is applied on the item, select the tax. You can set tax rates in your accounting settings. Total after tax. Net total plus tax amount per item. Delete. Tap on it to delete the current line. Add row button. Add a new row. Clear all button. It deletes all the detailed lines in the whole invoice. Then we have invoice total price, the sum of all total prices. Invoice total discount, the sum of all discount amounts. Invoice net total, the sum of all item net totals. Invoice total after tax, the sum of all items net total plus taxes. Installments button is optional. You can add several installments for the current invoice in an easy way. First, it will take by default the due date you have entered before as the default starting date of the installments, and also you can change how many installments you want to divide the total amount to. Moreover, how your installment generation want to repeat daily, weekly, monthly. Second, after filling how you want to create your installments, press on Generate, and it will create them down below. Starting from your start date reaching the end, and all the amounts are equal. Of course, you can add them manually if you want by pressing Add Row and filling the data manual. Third, if you want to change the amount, for example, first payment should be 40% of the total amount, and other installments should divide the rest of the amount. Change the first amount to 40 and press Generate again. It will split the rest of the amount evenly. Moreover, you can modify the due dates generated as you want. Fourth, press Save and make sure the total amount of the installments equals the total amount of the invoice. Congrats, now you have created your installment, but you haven't saved them, yet it will save when you save your invoice. If you have installments before, make sure that when you change your invoice amounts to check if the installments match that amount. Attachments button is optional. Upload files or pictures related to the invoice, e.g., signed order form. Save button. After completing the invoice, save it. And an accounting voucher will be automatically generated by the system. Save and Pay button. You can easily create an auto-generated receipt voucher to record either full or partial payment of the invoice, using various payment methods. For additional information, watch Receipts Data Entry Form help video. Quanta Books will automatically record this sale, update your reports, and generate all necessary vouchers, so you stay organized and on track without any manual work. Smart, simple, professional. That's the power of sales invoicing in Quanta Books. Thanks for listening. We're here to make accounting easier every day.